Hello children, I hope all are enjoying the online classes and becoming more and more perfect in the subjective knowledge. Isn't it children? Yes, you are. You are becoming more and more perfect in the subject without going to the school and staying at home. Okay, children, we were dealing with Unit 6. Unit 6 reveals about the freedom. You all know that what is the freedom? It is nothing but the power or the right to speak, right to live, right to follow, right to equality, right to education, right to act as one wants or wishes to live. It is nothing but the state of not being a slave or a prisoner. Everyone wants freedom, not only in India but all over the world. We have seen the pictures of the students enjoying the celebrations of national festival in your style sheet. The children are enjoying the national festival. What we have seen over there, it is the students are very happy. They come in the morning with neat uniform, always a smile on their face. Why are they so happy, children? Because they don't fight. They follow the rules and regulations, following the queue system, one after the other. They will be waiting for the chance to come, then only they will take. So they follow the queue wherever they go. They follow the leader. What the leader says, they listen and follow. They don't fight with each other. They are not bothered about the caste, the region, or the religion. These all features are the main things to be understood for an happy and prosperous life. Wherever you go, you have to follow the rules, either at home or at the school or at the office. Wherever you go, if you follow all the disciplinary actions or the rules, then you will be very, very happy and your work will be completed in time. In the face sheet, that is the second page of your textbook, you have seen the pictures of Nelson Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi. Who are these people? These two persons have become famous personalities. How we can become the famous persons, children? We can become famous persons by our work, by the devotion of our work. They are the father of their nations. They inspire their natives by their work. They tried for disputeless and worryless world. They try to avoid the division of the places on community basis, region-wide and religion-wise basis. They try to invoke the feelings. This is the main character of a leader. They try to invoke the feelings of broad-mindedness in thoughts and actions. They sacrificed their lives for their country and brought freedom to their country. Thus, they became world famous. They became the world class leaders. You have already learned the first A reading lesson in this, A Long Walk to Freedom. In that lesson, what you have learned, Nelson Mandela highlights the people living in South Africa. The South Africans are the colored persons. They were not allowed to fulfill their twin obligations. That is, working for the family and working for the country. So no one has the right to fulfill both of those obligations. And if anyone tried to do so, he was punished and isolated, which you can see in the picture. Blacks were not allowed to live like human beings. Mandela felt that not only the sufferer, but also the oppressor who want to oppress, he also suffers. The sufferer suffers from the pain and the oppressor suffers from the hatred feeling. This all is happening because of the racism. So he wanted to say no to racism. See, he pointed out the mistakes where it is, and he wanted to eradicate that feeling of racism. Hence, because of this racism, all are losers. We think that only the sufferers are losers, but even the oppressor also is a loser, because all the negative thoughts will be an obstacle in developing our personality. Freedom to everyone is the only solution. Life basically deals with human values. Humanity remains the same wherever you go and everywhere and at any time. Now, coming to today's topic, be reading. It is Freedom, a poem written by Rabindranath Tagore. You all know about Rabindranath Tagore. Now, let us know about the poet before reading the poem. Rabindranath Tagore was born in the year 1861 and died in the year 1941. He was a Bengali writer who reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as Indian art in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. He was the author of Gitanjali, and it's profoundly sensitive, fresh and beautiful verse. He became the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in the year 1913. In translation, his poetry was viewed as spiritual and influential. Now, let us look at the glossary before reading the poem. The meanings to the new words. There are no hard words, children. So let us look at the meaning. Freedom, a state of being free. Beckoning, command. Beckoning, command. Shackles, two metal rings joined by a chain, used for placing around the wrist of a prisoner. What do you mean by shackles, children? Two metal rings joined by a chain, used for placing around the wrist of a prisoner. Slumber, sleep. Wait. Here, the meaning is by which. Anarchy, a situation in a country in which there is no government, no order, no control. What do you mean by anarchy? A situation in a country in which there is no government, no order, no control. Yielded, agreed to something that you don't want. What do you mean by yielded? Agreed to do something that you don't want actually. Help, a wheel to steer. Help, a wheel to steer. Rigid, stiff and difficult to move. Rigid, stiff and difficult to move. Dwelling, you already are aware of this word. A house where a person lives. Puppets, a model of a person moved by strings. You all know about a puppet show. A model of a person moved by strings. Figures, toys. Still, move. Now, let us read the poem, children. Freedom from fear is the freedom. Freedom from fear is the freedom I claim for you, my motherland. What is the motherland over here? My motherland is my country. And what does the poet want? Freedom from fear is the freedom I claim for you, my motherland. So all are afraid. First we have to remove this fear. Then only I can get the freedom for my motherland. Freedom from the burden of the ages bending your head, breaking your back, binding your eyes to the beckoning call of the future. Freedom from the burden of the ages, bending your head, breaking your back, binding your eyes to the beckoning call of the future. See, here we see the repetition of the word we. In the first two lines, we see the repetition of the word F, freedom from fear. And again, freedom. I claim fur. And in the second two lines, third and fourth line, we see burden, bending, breaking, back, blinding, beckoning. So here the letter F or letter B is used in the formation of the word, and the words, different words are formed. These words are called as alliteration. What do you mean by alliteration? Means it is the urgency. You have to follow it immediately. So the writer is using these words. He is stressing you to do all this immediately, because we are suffering from this burden from ages, from many years. We are bending our heads and we are breaking our backs, and we are just blindly following, blinding your eyes, and we are following the command. Whatever the British are commanding, we are just following. Freedom from the shackles of slumber, where you fasten yourself in night stillness. Freedom from the shackles of slumber, where you fasten yourself in night stillness. You have to free from the shackles of slumber. You're getting tired and you are not thinking on your own. You just want to sleep even after sleeping the night. Throughout the night also, you want to sleep because you're not giving the work to your mind. It is our duty to give the work. And you're not giving the work to the mind, so you feel sleepy. So when you feel sleepy, you're leading your life to the darkness, to the night stillness. So you have to come out from that. Mistrusting the star that speaks of truth's adventurous paths. Freedom from the anarchy of destiny. And in the next two lines, what he is saying, see again, shall I repeat the word? Mistrusting the star that speaks of truth's adventurous paths, freedom from the anarchy of destiny. Whoever leads us, the people say that they have become the stars. God lighted them and placed in the sky in the form of stars. So here, the poet is clearly bringing that mistrusting the star. You're not trusting the leaders who lead you in the correct way. You're not doing at all. You're not believing. And that speaks truth, adventurous path. They are saying the truth only. They are saying you, they are showing you the way. Every way has some or other troubles. And it will be an adventure. But you have to go through that way. But you're habited to go to select the smooth paths. You are just listening to the commands, beckoning call. And with that, and you're not even having any destination. So everywhere there is anarchy. Whole sails are weakly yielded to the blind, uncertain winds, and held to a hand ever rigid and cold as death. See the next lines, children. The poet, how he is saying, whole sails are weakly yielded to the blind, uncertain winds. How we are sailing, how we are leading the life, it is very, very weak. We are justly blindfolding, we are folding our eyes and moving our lives in the uncertain winds. The wind, how it is directing, you are going because you don't have any destination. It should not be like us. Every human being or every living creature created by the God has the knowledge. They have to form their destination, what I have to become, how I have to become. Then only we can lead our life. So here, how is there? He is just born and he is listening to the commands of the people without ever thinking of his life. So he is moving according to the movements of the wind, and he has kept his steering in the hands of the dead person. So the dead person, he is cold and rigid, and the ship moves as it goes. Freedom from the insult of dwelling in a puppet's world, where movements are start through brainless wires, repeated through mindless habits. See, children, what does the poet want? See, you should not live the life of insulting. You should not live an insulted life. You should not be a puppet in the hands of British. Okay, here in the puppets, what will be there? The puppets' movements are done by the brainless wire. You are the brain, you have the brain. The brain work is, it will always invoke the thoughts in you. You should not do the mistakes. Your teacher will point out the mistake. Your parents will point out the mistake. Your elders will point out the mistakes. Once when you do the mistake, you have to stop doing the mistake. You should not repeat. If you repeat, you have to think that you are brainless workers. Because the brainless workers are the habits, are the mindless habits. So you should not do that, children. Where figures wait with patience and obedience for the masters of show, to be stepped into a mimicry of life. How beautifully the writer is saying, see? You should not become like the toys in the hands of the rulers, the British. You should not wait patiently and follow obediently what your masters say and lead a life of mimicry. You have your own understanding. You have your own thought. In each and every lesson, you all are educated. In each and every lesson, you come to know about some or other truth, how to lead your life. You know how the people face the problem, so you have to select the right path, then you lead a happy life. You will be free. Okay, children, I think you have understood the poem. Now, let us see how the poem was written. We have to understand, though the persons who have written this poem are dead, But then also we have to find out how he has written. We have to understand what was his intention. So here he has used a figure of speech, used is use of alliteration or repetition of X sound for in the words freedom, from, fear, and freedom in the first line, the urgency of his call for Indian independence. Then the aged woman represents India. She bends her head, bends her back, and blinds her eyes under the burden of colonialism. These lines also use alliteration with the repetition of the beat sound. A metaphor in which his country is compared to a sailboat following uncertain winds with an uncaring person at the helm. Then next, comparing India to a puppet show, figures who are clearly Indians wait obediently just to follow the master of the show, meaning their English rulers. Therefore, the Indians live a mimicry of life, meaning an inauthentic life controlled by others. Now, poems are for recitation children. You two just recite along with me. We are not singers, but we have to recite. The poems are written for that only. Freedom from fear is the freedom I claim. For you, my motherland. Freedom from fear is the freedom I claim. For you, my motherland. Freedom from the burden of religion, bending your head, breaking your back, blinding your eyes to the beckoning call of the future. Freedom from the burden of religion, bending your head, breaking your back, blinding your eyes to the beckoning call of the future. Freedom from the shackles of slumber, wherewith you fasten yourself in night stillness. Freedom from the shackles of slumber, wherewith you fasten yourself in night stillness. Mistrusting the star that speaks of truth, mistrusting the star that speaks of truth's adventurous paths. Freedom from the anarchy of destiny. Freedom from the anarchy of destiny. Wholesales are weekly yielded. To the blind, uncertain wind, whole sails are weakly yielded. To the blind, uncertain wind, and the help to a hand, and the help to a hand, ever rigid and cold as death, ever rigid and cold as death. Freedom from the insult of dwelling in a puppet's world. Freedom from the insult of dwelling in a puppet's world, where movements are started through brainless wire, where movements are started through brainless wire, repeated through mindless habit, repeated through mindless habit, where figures wait with patience, where figures wait with patience and obedience for the master of the show, to be stepped into to be stepped into mimicry of life, mimicry of life, mimicry of life. Now children, who wants freedom? We want freedom. We were under the rule of British, and they were ruling us. This poem was written by Rabindranath Tagore at that time. We should get freedom. What it says? We should get freedom. We should be free from the shackles of the British rule. You can see the picture of the shackles in the second one. We should be free from the shackles of the British rule. This was the main cause for him to write this poem. He wanted Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai India. And for whom do we want? For our motherland. And my motherland is India. He says that we should be free from fear. We should take out the fear, and in its place what we have to do? We should fill it with courage. And this is the main aim for us to achieve freedom. We should not be scared of anything. We should always be ready to sacrifice. We should be ready to sacrifice our life. You children, you have to be ready to sacrifice your time and give time to understand, to read the lesson, to understand the lesson, and to do what the teacher and the parents and the government wanted to do. This is what you have to learn from this poem. So, we have to be ready. We should be ready to sacrifice our lives for our motherland. The poet demands this kind of fearless thought. See, fearless thought. This is the past thing. But here, once when you understand, you will be able to express, then there won't be any fear of your exam. This is what you have to change yourself after each and every lesson. You should be always ready to sacrifice our lives for our motherland. The poet demands this kind of fearless thought and action in each and every Indian to get freedom. We were under the rule of British for many years. We were habited to bend our heads and do what they say. This is all happened because of fear. And the poet wants to keep your head up and keep your heart strong. He says that you work so hard that you are breaking your back. In the second row, see, he is lifting the heavy word, breaking your back, and listen to them and work blindly. The poet wanted you to stand and understand and do the work. And he also wanted that you must rise your position from bending your head to raise your head, and from breaking your back to standing straight and doing the work, and thirdly, from folding your hand to raise your hand that I will do that, I will answer the question. You have to raise your hand. And from nodding your head to command the opposition. See, bending and nodding your head, you can see clearly in the picture. You have to just command and make others also to do the work. You must be free from the shackles of slumber. You should not think of sleeping. The daytime is for you. The daytime is for you to work hard. And you should lead your life from darkness to light. You should not lead your life into darkness, but you should lead from darkness to light. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. You have to follow this rule. And the third row picture shows that you have to trust each other. But what we are doing, we are mistrusting. Okay, they are not believing on each other. They are showing, okay, you are not believing them. You are mistrusting them. So if you learn to trust others from this day, you have to raise your stage to believe. You have to, if you learn to trust others, you will learn to trust yourself. For this, see, you have to travel through the adventurous path. See, in the first picture we see a boy. He is following the adventurous path. He is not scared. Even the girls are also. She is not. In the second picture, we see the darkness. She is not afraid of the darkness. With a smile, she is traveling through the darkness to the light. So in the third picture, all the boys and girls with a light weight, they are started traveling. They are doing adventures. So so we have to lead the adventurous part against the British. British are not the people who have the brains. We too must prove that. We too have the brain. We are not the brainless creatures. We can think, we can do, we can follow and do. So, if you do, it's your duty to believe them and follow the right way. You're thinking to work as a slave for British. You must come out of this thought. You must be free from anarchy. Means you should not be controlled by rules and regulations. You have to decide your destiny. Your movement should not be a sudden one or without thinking or following blindly the leader without any comment. If the steering of the ship is kept in the hands of a dead person, it will not go in the correct way. It will be just moving. Your life should not be like that, students. The poet says it shouldn't be just a moment, but it should fulfill all your aims and goals. Your life should not be like a dead person. There is no comparison between a dead person or a lively person. It should be different. You should not be like a puppet. You should not be like a puppet in somebody's hand. You have your own knowledge. You have your own capability, and you can achieve all the goals according to your wish. We should not be controlled by the selfish and the brainless wires. You should not repeat your mindless habits. We should not lead a puppet life in the hands of British. They are the mindless people. Now, let us have the brief summary, short analysis. The poet expresses his wishes and vision for his motherland. The poet expresses his wishes and vision for his motherland. First wish he has for India, freedom from fear. He believes fear of his countrymen is responsible for slavery. Second wish, freedom from illogical and orthodox beliefs and traditions, which don't let her see the future. Third wish, to break free of fear of taking risks. Last wish, freedom from humiliation of living as a slave in the hands of foreign invaders. He wishes for his motherland to live freely, taking her own decisions and creating her own future. I think all of you have understood. Now, the last part of the session is answer the following questions. What sort of freedom does the poet wish to have? The poet wishes to have a freedom free from fear. Second question. The poet talks about fear in the opening lines of the poem. What kind of fear is he talking about? Answer. The poet is talking about a fear to express your opinion, reject a command, Relieve yourself from slavery. Follow the leaders who stand by the truth. Third question. What does the poet mean by figures in the poem? What sort of figure are they? According to the poet, figures means the words which are used with different words of the same letter. Example, first two lines, the words with F letter are freedom from, fear, freedom for. Next two lines, the words with B letter are burden, bending, breaking, bad, blinding, and beckoning. Figures are meant for the urgency. It must be done immediately or then and there only. These figures are called alliterations. Do you think we are all free from fear? What kind of fears are haunting our motherland now? Answer: I don't think we are all free from fear, as we see everyone with a fear of something or other. The fears that are haunting our motherland now are the coronavirus, heavy rains, insecurity, superstitious belief, nervousness to brighten their future, to express their opinions, terrorists, and so on. What did you learn from this poem, children? I should be courageous to express my opinion on the subject with anyone, not to follow anything blindly without any understanding. I should be independent in thinking and action. I should give respect to the parents and teachers who always guide us properly. I should stand and work for the truth. I should believe that all humans are one without any caste. Hope you understood the lesson. Thank you, children. Stay home, stay safe.